HCC MovieMakers Academy Movie Reviews. I'm Trey Dixon.
I'm Kevin Simmons.
And being that Mad Max Fury Road is going to be in theaters very, very soon, we thought what better time to go ahead and revisit George Miller's classic 1979 action thriller Mad Max, starring Mel Gibson.
Of course.
So, Mad Max is set in a dystopian future and centers on a traffic highway patrolman who embarks on a mission of vengeance after a deranged motorcycle gang takes the life of his wife, son, and best friend. So, Kevin, what did you feel upon revisiting Mad Max?
I like this film a lot when I watched it when I was 7. I really enjoyed everything about it. Now, when I'm a little bit older and I'm in film school, I can look between the lines and see that this is like a first-time filmmaker's work. But I still like it, innit?
It certainly feels that way. I have a confession to make. I actually haven't seen the original Mad Max until recently. And by recently, I mean 4 hours ago. So it's very fresh in my mind. I knew the basic premise going into it because it's been around for a long time and I'd known a lot about it.
Yep.
I knew that it was a guy who goes on a vengeful killing spree because something bad happened to his loved ones.
Did you know it launched Mel Gibson's career?
I did know that. I know that it launched George Miller's career. And interestingly, it was made for a budget of $400,000. It grossed $100 million worldwide. And for 20 years, it held the record for the most profitable film of all time until 1999, when the Blair Witch Project came out. So I'm aware of this movie's presence, but I didn't know exactly how it would progress in terms of its plot. I wasn't expecting so much build-up.
Yeah, incredible, yeah.
I was thinking this movie was going to be just Mel Gibson being Mel Gibson, slaughtering all of these detestable human beings.
Well, you know the thing where, in revisiting a movie in, your head, you sum it up into the best parts.
Yeah.
It is interesting to watch the film, especially since I did watch when I was young, to re-see it and just watch how well it was paced. All the additional scenes, all the family growth and character growth.
You get a real good opportunity to dislike the villains in this movie. And
every corner.
And I can see the most memorable parts of this movie being its third act, where everything just builds to a head and he just massacres everybody.
I don't know if anyone's favorite part is when they're frolicking through the forest for 5 minutes.
Yeah, frolicking through the forest.
With a puppy!
With a puppy, it's like Deathly Hallows Part 1. Yeah, so it was a decent build-up. You get a good chance to understand the characters and how horribly these villains are. I don't know if it's really lasted as well over the generations, but at the same time, you can't fault the magic of practical cinema.
No, you cannot.
This movie...
And Australia, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Yeah, no. They're making a lot of great movies now, and this is one of the best that have come out of that country, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I do have to say, just on my own personal record, I'm not sure about modern Mel Gibson. I don't want to put any lines between that, but looking at the man, that is a born-to-be star.
No, absolutely.
I absolutely love Gibson in this film.
He has true charisma, true genuine star power in this movie.
That smile, that chin, everything about him.
Yeah, no wonder he had a bright future in front of him. This was a brilliant showcase for his abilities, and then we won't get into what happened, but yeah. So this movie signifies a period in time when practical was the name of the game. You couldn't do anything with special effects.
Well, you say that, but I also just love a lot of the heart and character that this film is given by the very nature of being its first time.
Oh, for sure.
First-time filmmaker.
And we've said this about Vincenzo Natali when he was doing Cube.
Absolutely.
There's that passion to it.
Absolutely. Well, it's even I can't remember the character's name at all, but one of the few scenes we do see of him is when he's shirtless with only a scarf, necklace, and watering a plant.
Oh, the bald guy?
Yes, absolutely.
The chief of police.
How do I name all these other qualities and you're like, oh, the bald guy.
The bald guy, the chief of police. Yes. No.
Well, it's just little details like that, and all the characters' name, Moonrider, and how they act and respond.
A lot of great character development and a lot of great world building.
Absolutely.
Particularly impressive being that they had such a small budget.
Yeah.
And it's kind of why I say it doesn't carry over so well, because it took me a little while when I was watching the movie to realize, oh yeah, that's right, this is supposed to be dystopian. So they did the very, very best they could with what little they had. It still sort of looks like they went ahead and shot out in a highway somewhere, but
I would love to look back and see how much of that was guerrilla-style shooting.
I'm sure most of it.
Yeah, where you just have a guy a mile away and another guy a mile the other
No
direction.
permits.
No,
nobody signed off on it.
We gotta go.
We gotta get it, or else we're under arrest.
Oh god, and there's certain stuff that is in this film that just does not happen in a professional shoot. I remember it was one of the motorcyclists gets launched off his motorcycle. Then we see in tight close-up the wheel of a still speeding motorcycle bouncing off the guy's head.
I know, yeah.
Ugh.
All of these beautiful improvised moments that you wouldn't get in a studio film.
Yeah.
And yeah.
The look of terror as people dodge speeding cars.
It's, really,
Either brilliant acting, brilliant second assistant director, or really terrified actual human beings.
I'm sure all of the above is the correct answer. Did you know that George Miller directed Happy Feet?
No, but I'm happy I know that.
I think that Happy Feet is the unofficial sequel to Thunderdome, I think.
Okay.
Happy Feet 2, The Return of the Road Warrior.
Yeah, you could definitely see that when he's wearing a hockey mask and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All the cars.
Happy Feet is a terrific action movie. A brilliant dystopian.
With Mel Gibson.
With Mel Gibson, yes. Yeah, so it's not flawless. I think it's ridiculously over the top at times. I understand that's part of its character. The villains in this movie are just so annoying.
Oh, they are villains, not human beings who do bad things. Villains. Cartoon, like early Disney villains.
Yeah, like cut out of construction paper. Here's a villain.
Yeah.
Let's deal with him for 2.5 hours.
You want to talk about? Okay, so part of the initiation for one of the younger villains to get into the villain club or whatever the hell it is to light an officer on fire.
Okay.
And so the
so
guy,
that's what that was?
Yeah.
That's what that was?
Yeah, so like this bit of humanity that's still in this young kid as he holds this match, like, do I throw it? The other guy just knocks it out of his hand. Like,
I saw that, and I appreciated that. It brought a little bit of dimension to one of the...
one person, and then the other guy's like, no, we're villains.
No, and it was like,
you were a villain or
what's
you're
his
not.
main characteristic? Oh, he's got like a possum for a haircut? Yeah, like it's... A lot of a lot of the enjoyment in this film comes a little bit out of a superficial level, but it's just impressive because it was one of the early blockbuster movies. People didn't see it very often, and like we were saying, it's from a first-time filmmaker, and whenever you have a first-time filmmaker, there's just this unbridled passion.
Exactly, freedom almost.
Yeah, and it was late 1970s where the studios were reeling from the hit that they took from television, and they were basically saying, hey, filmmakers, do whatever you want.
Please.
We need the help. So,
Please. And we get this beautiful expressionism.
So they basically gave George Miller the ability to do what he wanted.
Yeah, and I'm very happy for it.
And we won't see much of that nowadays.
Well, no,
we get our independent movies, but big
I
old
will say
films.
a film like Mad Max will never get made again. It's such of its time, era, and everything about it.
That's why I'm concerned about Fury Road.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it.
because it's, the first film was this independent production. It was free of restriction. They did whatever they wanted, and it was beautiful and passionate, and they got it out there, and it lasted for 2 decades as the most profitable film of all time. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid that this is going to feel like a studio production.
You're not going to be wrong, I'll tell you that much. It is going to feel like a studio production.
I just hope that it manages to maintain that same passion, that same energy.
Well, George Miller's back on it, right?
Yeah, he is, and
now,
that's.
As a man who actively dodges information about films he's excited for, is it a sequel or a?
It seems like a sequel. It seems like a sequel. I could be completely wrong about that. It seems like a sequel.
I'll say this much at least, because you're right. It's going to feel like a studio work, but I'm almost happy for it. I don't want to say studio as in like there's going to be this huge amount of restriction. We're not going to see like decapitation and
Well, it's R-rated. It's R-rated, so we might get some of that.
Well, let's talk about Mad Max 2. Have you seen that one? Or am I going to go off my cuff?
No.
Well, it was after a wild success of the first one. He was given more money, but it still remained that independent thing.
I just want it to have the budget of a studio production, but the freedom of an independent filmmaker.
Okay.
What would you give the original Mad Max on a scale of 1 to 10?
I get out of enjoyment, it's going to be an 8. But actually looking at it as a film, let's say a 7, 6.5 maybe.
I'll go straight 8 on both.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah, I very much enjoy this movie. It's not perfect, but it's a great hurrah from the 1970s, and I would recommend it to everybody. Thank you for watching HCC MovieMakers Academy movie reviews. We're brought to you by the Houston Community College Filmmaking Program and HCC TV. We love movies, and if you love movies too, then check out our website, www.hccs.edu, and enroll yourself in the art of filmmaking. Check out our YouTube channel and subscribe if you would like to receive more alerts for reviews just like this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.